Mina Aissatou Smile Cisse, and today the camera is the Sierra Leone Police Headquarters concerning a press briefing where the Sierra Leone Police call as we get information say them be all some police officers them with some hard drugs where today the Sierra Leone Police don't call press briefing again for can update the press waiting at the way forward concerning them police officers there so where them be all with hard drugs and PTS where they can normally call Sierra Leone Police Training School and some other activities them again where the Sierra Leone Police don't they partake on. Today then get for can give with the update about that.
First on the list, I have the Director of Professional Standards, under which you can find CDID, AIG, Captain Saidu Kamara. And then we have the Regional Police Officer, Freetown East, AIG, Mr. Ego Samadia. The one for traffic management is not here. Of course, we have the Director of Training, Young AIG Sylvester MN Koroma. You want to know, you know, just by your hand. And then we also have the Director of Traffic Management and Road Safety, AIG Raymond Cannon. We also have the Regional Commander Freetown West, Commissioner Manfred Williams. And then we also have the Acting Director of Crime Services, Commissioner Joseph Lahad. I'm here as well, ACP William Kamara. My guys are also here, Semu and Sanko. And then chairperson for today is somebody who has been around for a considerable period of time. He knows policing, and in fact, for now, he's the one in charge of human resource management. He's managing us. So let me introduce the chairperson for today, the person of AIG Patrick Johnson. You are most welcome, sir. And you can take over, sir.
Thank you, Media One, Mr. Kamara, colleagues, senior colleagues, members of the Fourth Estate, ladies and gentlemen. Let me, on behalf of the Inspector General of Police, welcome you to another press briefing for today. We do recognize your importance. We are always happy to engage you. And as an organization, we have nothing to hide. That's why we work with you as partners in development. Because, I mean, we have to work with you so that we get our message out to our public. On this note, let me once more welcome you on behalf of management to this press conference today. I'm sure we have several issues to discuss here. We will to feed you with what we have. I know you're all hungry for information and you're free to ask questions. We will start with item number 5A. That is update from the Director of Professional Standards, Mr. Capri Saidu Kamara, AIG. Mr. Capri Saidu Kamara, KSK. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon, everybody. As the chairman has introduced me, I am AIG Capri Saidu Kamara, the Director of Professional Standards, wherein we have the CDID, which is under my directorate. The CDID is the Complaints, Discipline and Internal Investigations Department, a department under the Directorate of Professional Standards. It starts with the responsibility of providing oversight on the activities of SLP personnel in a bid to checkmate their excesses both in the discharge of their duties and in their private life. The department also provides the much needed platform for members of the public to seek redress over the misconduct of our personnel. All this is geared towards maximizing professionalism and improving service delivery. Therefore, we felt very disturbing when on the 3rd of November 2022, we received information trending on social media, in brackets, WhatsApp and Facebook, showing one of our personnel, PC 18654, Ali Sankor, clad in full uniform, in broad daylight, appearing to be under the influence of alcohol or narcotic drugs, KUSH to be specific, an act that had the potential to bring the SLP into disrepute. We promptly ascertained his deployment location, arrested and subjected him to investigation. He was made to face disciplinary hearing, and in a free and fair trial, he was found guilty of all the charges levied against him and dismissed from the SLP. In a related development, on Tuesday, 8th November 2022, at about 2000 hours, during a routine check led by the formed police unit coordinator at the Celia campus, Hastings, at PTS, Hastings, he discovered quantity of narcotic drugs, 16 wraps of suspected KUSH, 8 tablets of tramadol, and 238 wraps of cannabis sativa, and a pistol magazine containing 13 rounds, live rounds of ammunition, on 5 personnel undergoing FPU training. Namely, you have PC 13277, PC Police Constable 13277 Haja S. Conte. She is deployed at the Marine Department. Found Marine Department. Found in her possession 235 grams of cannabis. Number 2 is Police Constable 16030 Ibrahim Collier Hazley. He is deployed at Mongo Division. Found in his possession 1 wrap of cannabis. Then Police Constable 15595 Santigi Toure, OSD headquarters, found in his possession 1 wrap of cannabis. PC 12, Police Constable 12743 Alpha Cargo, OSD headquarters, found in his possession 16 wraps of KUSH, 8 tablets tramadol, 16 sachets of Roots Power alcoholic drink, 1 packet Total Pack, 2 packets Gold Seal cigarettes, 1 packet Empire cigarettes, and a magazine of 13 rounds ammunition. Last on the list is Corporal 14619 Mohammed Nabiu. He is attached at the transport headquarters. Found in his possession 1 wrap of cannabis and 1 wrap of KUSH. The matter was investigated and charges were preferred, ranging from improper practice, contrary to paragraph 9 rule 31F, and other discipline-related offences on all defaulters for disciplinary hearing. The discipline regulation here is our constitutional instrument. We are working with this discipline regulation. All were found guilty during the disciplinary hearing. The judgment reveals that defaulters were all found guilty on all charges levied against them, and they are likely to be dismissed from the force as provided for in the Police Discipline Regulation of 2001, this one. And then, since it is a criminal offense for possessing these drugs, these narcotic drugs, they are going to be investigated criminally by the Transnational and Organized Crime Unit, TOCU. Please note that, as an organization, we decided to take a tough disciplinary action against all the defaulters to send a clear message to all members of the force, the SLP, that management now operates a policy of zero tolerance on the consumption of narcotic drugs and open display of drunkenness, especially whilst on duty. I think for the Directorate of Professional Standards, this is all I have for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director of Professional Standards. Just a slight correction there. It is not new. It's not a new policy that we are now operating zero tolerance. It has been the policy of the Australian police all the time that we have zero tolerance on drugs abuse or drug substance abuse and the intake of substance by officers and even smoking on duty. We don't accept it, and it's not new. So once more, thank you very much. As you have yourselves, disciplinary action has been taken, and we'll go further. If you have questions afterwards, if you have questions to ask. Next, 5B on the agenda, we now call upon the Regional Commander, Freetown East. That is beginning from Eastern Police, going up to Waterloo. Yes, Mashakazis, and part of the peninsula to Kent, falls under the Regional Commander, my friend here, Mr. Air Edosamadea. He is the Regional Commander. He will now brief us about what happens in this zone. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, colleagues, all members from the 4th Estate. As already introduced, I am Air Edosamadea, the Regional Commander, Freetown East. Well, probably you must have been known that Freetown East spans from Eastern Police on to Sogo. That is my boundary where I provide policing supervision. Well, Freetown East, of course, as I've already introduced to you, you know the turbulency of my area of responsibility, policing responsibility, so to speak. Well, the entire Eastern region, Freetown East region, is quiet, is calm, as a result of the proactive policing measures we put in place. When I talk about proactive policing measures, such as the patrols, the checkpoint duties, you can attest to that. At night, you will see several checkpoints along the street of Freetown East. And then we also, with the blessings of the Inspector General of Police, we have established an anti-drug squad. You have the director of professional standards. It's not new really, but to intensify rates on the intake of drugs or to curb the menace of drugs, which is why we have introduced or established the anti-drugs unit, and that is going on. We have conducted raids at several points across the region, stemming from Eastern Police, Abo, that is Ross Road, Kisi, Waterloo, and even beyond, as I've stated. Well, to get you informed, we had an incident which is really worth mentioning here to you, that on Friday, the 18th of November 2022, police responded swiftly to a case reported by one Mr. Alhaji Alpha Rashid, who happens to be the representative of a Ghetto group of company. What exactly happened? The Ghetto group of company shipped about 12 vehicles, and they landed, they cleared it from the key, and one of the drivers escaped that night with a vehicle, you know. But the vigilance of the police, brand new vehicles, vigilance of the police, the driver and the vehicle was arrested at my old school, you know, because we alerted all our checkpoints, and even at mile 38, because we suspected him to go through the checkpoint to the provinces of Guinea, you know, but he ran out of luck and he was arrested at a old school. So that was the sweetness of the police. We also intensify our sensitizations, not only to school, sensitization on violence, especially when we are approaching the festive season and the elections. So we intensify our sensitization, non-violent sensitization, and other aspect to the schools and various communities. That is ongoing, and will continue to do that. You know, of course, that is all I have for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Air. Thank you very much, Air, for this update. Yeah, for us to be safe on our roads, our supply crisscross our country, we have a focal person in charge of that, and that is Mr. Brian McCanney, Assistant Director of Police. He will now take us through to give us his update or brief to the press to see how far he has done to see that we are safe on the roads, working in collaboration with our partners, the Road Safety Authority and other agencies. Thank you, Mr. Kane. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Johnson. Good afternoon all. I'm AIG Bramakane. I'm AIG Bramakane, the Director of Traffic and Road Safety. Sensitive. That was sensitive. Yeah. Once again, I'm AIG Bramakane, the Director of Road Safety. My mandate or my directorate cover the entire country. Principally, you all know my roles and my responsibilities. I don't need to bother you all about that. Let me just give you updates of my directorate. On Wednesday, the 17th November 2022, the Pavi Fort Construction Company has embarked on the turning of the Ferry Junction road commencing from 2020 hours onto 0800 hours. And this backdrop, this has caused some amount of traffic congestion within the area. But however, My personnel trained their best to maintain the perfect free flow of traffic throughout the process. On Monday, the 21st September 2022, the Iron Project has kickstarted at Longleaf Freetown. And on that note, the vehicle park has been relocated to the Freetown Golf Club to allow the work to go on. A total amount of impounded commercial motorbikes within the station that falls in the CBD district are as follows. Central Police Station, 246 bikes have been arrested. Armored Division, 10. Eastern Police, 15. A total of 271. However, 95 commercial motorbikes have already ticketed by the SLRSA Corps at the cost of 400,000 euros. Let me give you the statistics of accidents within the country. The number of cases reported is 3,463. In Freetown West, that's from Central Division to Godrich, we recorded 1,218 cases. Freetown East, 1,678, that's from Eastern Police on to Waterloo. Northwest, 163. Northeast, 80. The Southern Region, 62. The Eastern, that's Kenema, Kono, Kailam, 264. Number of fatal that was recorded. For Freetown West, the male is 27, female 11. Freetown East, 48 for male, female 29. Northwest, 41, female 13. Northeast, 45, female 11. The South, 15, female 2. East, 43, female 11. The total amount of fatal we recorded was 219 for male and 77 for female. Serious matters that we recorded was total within the entire country was 897. We just covered from January to September. I think that is all I have now from Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Director, Child Management and Road Safety. For the general public to understand, I'm using the police terms on timing. What you meant by 20 hours, it's simply 8:20 p.m. 8:20 p.m. or 20 minutes past 8 at night to 0800 hours, 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when they're doing the asphalt within the ferry junction axis, where they're doing the roads, resurfacing the roads again. Just for clear understanding to the public. Thank you very much. And I'm sure also we heard about the statistics given for fatalities, the road crashes we had in the country, which is very alarming. It is very alarming, but I'm sure they do their best to ensure that it is mitigated. Yeah, I mean, we lost over 300 lives in this country between January and September. That's just too much. And then over 200 serious injuries. That's too much. May the soul rest in peace. Next Sunday, to brief us, is our Director of Training, Mr. Sylvester Kuroma. No more family? Please carry.
Thank you. Sorry. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Esteemed members of the Fourth Estate, I bring you greetings from the Training Directorate. As you may be aware, we are responsible for identifying training needs of every personnel in the SFP and seek appropriate means to deliver training so as to address those needs. We do this basically to be able to professionalize the force so that each and every personnel will optimally deliver service delivery to the people of this country. In the last 2 months, we'll be quite busy. Some of you may be aware. Some of you have been following our programs. So the updates are as follows. The chairman is the Director of Human Resource Management. Between the 3rd and the 5th, he handed over to us a total of 1,000 recruits. We have inserted them, we have commenced the basic recruit training. The figures in terms of gender distribution is 757 males and 243 females. 757 males and 243 females. You will see that the 30% gender is in our mind. So we have 243 females currently with us. They are going to be trained as Operations Support Officers. Where is this? We're going to train them in tactics that they can be able to provide security for the people of this country. They are expected to pass out in January, God being our help. And that number is going to augment our existing number, which we have on the ground as we wind up to the elections of 2023. We want to express our gratitude to the government for providing the funds to do this training. Number 2, just last week Friday, some of you followed us to the training school. The IGP and some members of this high table were in attendance where we closed the training of trainers for this election-specific training. That training, as I told you earlier, on that day, was sponsored by the American Embassy. They provided us a top-notch training group known as the Strategic Capacity Group, which team leader was Jean-Marc Batololo. They worked with us. We have put together a standardized training manual moving forward, which we'll be using to conduct, well, we can review them anyways, but moving forward, that is what we will use to conduct all election trainings that we'll be doing, starting that time and moving forward into January until the trainings are done. We intended to train a total of more than 12,000 security personnel, including police and other sister forces. These are the ones who will deploy to manage and provide security during the 2023 elections. I want to, on behalf of the Inspector General of Police, Mr. William Fayaselo, to express again our profound gratitude to the American Embassy and the people of America for providing that support. And I want you all to join us to be soliciting that kind of support for us, because that's the only way you can make us better. You know, when we had our problem in this country many years ago, we had the United Nations, the biggest UN mission was established. The figures at that time was 17,000 troops were on this ground. So over time, we have also begun to reciprocate what they did to us, because during that time, we learned a lot in terms of how we can conduct peacekeeping exercises. Now we are also exporting that knowledge to other war-torn countries. So we have just completed what we call a pre-assessment training for 270 Sierra Leone FPO 5 group contingents. Form Police Unit, that's what FPU means. The number 5 contingent, we are now preparing, we have done what we call the pre-assessment training for them. We're expecting the assessment team from the AU to arrive in February, and they are going to assess each and every one of them. From that figure, they will not zero in on 160 of them who will deploy in Somalia. Also, between the 27th and the 8th of November, we conducted, of course, the Acting Director of Crime Services is here. We conducted what we call the CID refresher training. A total of 240 of them were trained. They were refreshed. These were not actually new trainings, but we refresh them in the things that they usually do, so that we want them to do better and to do more, so that we want them to increase on their turnaround time in terms of investigations. And again, we re-emphasize the essence of human rights approaches in terms of investigations to them. So we've completed that. We are now happy that they are at work, and we hope we will see the difference in what they are doing currently. Also at the IIS, the Integrated Intelligence Service, they had adopted some people into their departments, but for them to be able to do their job professionally, an induction course was conducted for them. So all those new entrants into the IIS have been trained. Again, that is to show that they are being enabled to do their job properly. They are also now at work. We're expecting that the outcome of that training will be shown in what they do in their various places of work. Again, with the support of the Red Cross Society of Sierra Leone, after the incident of August 10, we partnered with them. They wanted us to have some training for Western area and Northern region on what is called the International Human Rights Law. So they supported us. We conducted a 2D training for them, for our personnel in Western area, 100, and in Northern region, 100. We did that, sorry, I don't have the dates, but we did that early this November. Again, we all know that when we come to elections, when we come to information management, there is always some downside to that. So the EU supported us to conduct a training on what they call, that was a 3-day training. They call it the EU practices on countering disinformation while promoting human rights. That was done at Ginton. They brought in consultants from overseas, and they helped us to deliver this training. And the interesting thing about this training was we took participants from across our partner institutions, not only the police, but we brought people from the military, we brought people from the ONS, we brought people from CISU, and we brought people from other areas. The essence of that training was to try to find ways of how we can counter disinformation. You know, as we wind up to elections, you know what usually obtains in this country. People are flying around every type of fake news. So we are training our guys to be able to deal with fake news if we put them up. So the media team here has been trained on that. We have many other things that we are gearing ourselves to do or that we have done. But because of time, I want to We have many other things that we have done as well. As I was saying, just last week was it on Friday, some of you followed us to Kintown. We have begun to take a lead in optimizing the limited resources we have in terms of our fleets. We've padded them with vehicle tracking systems, especially our operational vehicles that are in divisions. We are doing a pilot of that in the western area here. What we intended to achieve out of that is to ensure that those vehicles, when we fuel them, they are being put into the use for which they are put. They are patrol vehicles. We want to see them when they are on patrol. We want to ensure that personnel who on board them are doing actual patrols. So at the computer room here, they will sit and they will be seeing each and every of our vehicles as they apply the routes. So if you take the patrol vehicle for Central Division, for example, if we ask them now, can you check where the Central patrol vehicle is at? They can tell us, okay, it's now at Shaka Stevens Street, or it's at Kinton End, or it's at here, at every point. So these are some of the things this new management is doing to ensure that quality service delivery is enhanced, to ensure that we are able to deliver on safety and security for the people of this country. I want to stop for now, and we can take questions, answer when they come. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Director of Training, for the brilliant presentation. Thank you very much once more. As we make progress, we now ask Commissioner, the Regional Police Officer, Freetown West, Mr. Manfred Williams, Commissioner of Police, will brief us.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Freetown West continue to be quiet, calm, no unpredictable. Last night, we received a report from one Dennis McGratty, a British national, who reported that at Kiwi Beach Sport Park, his brother, John Harris, whilst ascending the steps leading to the first floor, fell off and was injured. Whilst he was being treated, he passed away. The corpse had been conveyed to mortuary. KUSH was dealing with the matter, and it has been transferred now to CID headquarters. Also, on the 18th of November, the regional operation team, led by Superintendent Jalo, raided the wall fence of FSSG school. We destroyed all the makeshift structures there and arrested the mechanic, whilst the keke fled. But we'll do a second bite because they came back, but we'll go for them again. Also on the 16th, Inspector Bokari of Lumley, together with his operations team, responded to a distress call and arrested Fode Tarawali alias Scholar of Pentagon Lumley for robbing one Samuela Aisatu Kuruma of a Pixel mobile phone valued 1,000 euros. He is now in custody and the Lumley Cyber Unit is investigating. Also, the Community Relations Department, in collaboration with Saul Amin, the LPP Regional Chairman and the Regional LPPB and Kuhlman's organization, they are presently all around the divisions embarking on sensitization on drug abuse, non-violence and lawlessness. Today they are at the mountainous region. Also on the 15th, ASP Tommy and the Lumley operations team also raided Safe Corner roundabout area and arrested 26 male suspects. All of them have been charged to court. On the 13th, a girl aged 10, accompanied by Aminata Koroma of 2 Kumbali, reported on behalf of the girl that around 17:35 hours, she was sexually abused by 3 people, 9-year-old Ibrahim Ansari, 10-year-old Channel Abdul Kamara, and 9-year-old Alaji Kamara, all of Benembo. The victim has been issued medical reports, and 2 of them are helping with the investigation, and the third is at large. Police are looking into the issue. We have to be careful with our kids. This is just a tip of the iceberg. The kids are abusing themselves, so we have to pay attention to them as parents. Also on the 11th at 07:30 hours, the regional ops team, led by Superintendent Jalo, raided a location at Leicester, where they arrested Kadi Burin, Ishmael Kamara, Jonathan Jakima, Joseph Conte, Zainab Durin, and James Durin, with 210 grams of KUSH and loose quantity, as well as 97 grams of cannabis sativa. All suspects and exhibits were transferred to Toku for investigation. I just want to remind us that during the Youth Employment Entrepreneurship exhibition at Aberdeen, the police was also there. Of course, it was launched by HE, the president, and the vice president. The police was also there to sensitize the public about job with the police. Whether you are a lawyer, a doctor, or whatsoever, you can always solicit job with the police. I think for Freetown West, that's all I can say for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Though we've got some scary moments of underage now involved in sexual abuse. It's worrisome. Moreover, I'm sure you've gone through Anamekoka Street along the French with SSG, where some squatters have made their permanent homes, disturbing that peaceful environment, that decent environment for school children to learn. And you know, when they squat there, that's where all the drug issues taking place. And of course, that will disturb our youth for tomorrow. So thank you very much for a job well done. We ask you to still continue to clear up that place. They're stubborn. They're still squat there.
The structures are gone, but we'll chase them again.
Yeah, I think the kekes have to go.
We will take them in the vehicle.
The kekes must go. The kekes must be taken physically from that side.
We'll take them
come there somewhere. Then they will come there.
They ran away the last time, but
Thank
this time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. And then now, so we call on the Acting Director of Crime Services.
The man of the moment.
Mr. Lahai. Joseph Lahai. You take us through.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, colleagues, senior officers, and members of the Fourth Estate. I'm Joseph Lahai, Commissioner of Police and Director of Crime Services. Well, let me just iterate you once more. Of course, you may have known what Crime Services stands for. And we are responsible for the day-to-day monitoring and seizing of crimes across the entire country. When we say crime services, it entails the whole country. But concerns recently are centered around the issue of narcotic drugs, the proliferation of narcotic drugs across the country. What we are seeing on social media is no joke. I have personally witnessed it. You have also witnessed it. People have fallen victims of the consumption of drugs and the consequences they have been facing through the use of drugs. We are very much concerned about this country's future. Should the entire country be engulfed with narcotic drugs, I wonder what will happen in the next 10 years. The burden will not only be on the youthful population, but even our generations yet unborn. I wonder who the next set of citizens will be. Will we have people to work in the banks? Will we have police officers, credible police officers, or military personnel across the country? This concern has actually gotten to higher heights, and we as the police, the custodians of the law, have been tasked to handle the menace quickly. And be rest assured that with the new Inspector General we have, a man that is disciplinary minded, we are above the situation. No amount of force will stop us from enforcing the drug-related laws. I will make sure that perpetrators are brought to book. We will not only be targeting the consumers, but even the manufacturers, the importers, the suppliers, and the distributors are of concern to us. And let me just involve you here that as police officers, you already know we are not everywhere. The civilians are everywhere. And this fight is not a one-man fight. Don't say I'm not a police officer, it's not my concern. If a guy gets drunk or had consumed narcotics while he's under his hallucinogenic effect, can cause mayhem to your daughter, your son, or your relative. So don't say I'm not a police officer. If this man is taking his drugs, that is not my business, it's not my son. It's not your son, but what he may do later may affect you in one way or the other. And let me also say here that if we are to attract investors into this country, the country must be safe and sound. Nobody wants to go into a country that is narcotic, full of narcotic takers or so. There is no better business you can do in that country. That is why, if you can actually see these days, the hunters are becoming the hunted. The police officer that are expected to hunt the drug addict, the manufacturers, the importers, are now being hunted. We have had some in the net. The director of professional agenda just said it. We have them in our net. And our zero tolerance on drugs does not only go for the civilians, but it also goes for members of the force. If you know you are a police officer, you should set the brightest example in the society. What will the civilian do if me, as a police officer, I sit together with a radical in a ghetto and we take KUSH together? We plan together. I facilitate the movement of narcotics across the country. Because I'm a police officer, being a responsible individual. There are certain checkpoints, definitely nobody will ask me because they think I'm credible. But if I'm falling short of my expectations, then there is no reason why it should not be treated like any other individual. And because of this zero tolerance on drugs, we have started it in Freetown. We have established, as the regional commander of Freetown West, we have established the anti-drug unit at the West, Freetown West, Freetown East, and very soon, Freetown West will get one, and the Central, that is the most populated area and the most area that we can say is full of hooligans. The cartels are too much in this city. It's not only for the western area, but we'll soon extend nationwide. We'll make sure that this country is drug-free. When we say zero tolerance on drugs, it's cut across the country. No exception. Be a police officer, be a civilian, be a medical doctor, we don't care. If you are found wanting, we have no alternative but to have you treated like any other hooligan that is found in the cartels. So, ladies and gentlemen, please pass on this message that the police these days is a professional police. And if you are a member of this organization and you want to take part the narcotics, I pity you and your family, because you not only be harming yourself by losing the job, but those that trust in you and those that rely on you for their daily survival will also suffer equally. Police officers of the Sierra Leone Police Force and any other force in this country are no exception to this law. We want to ensure that our country is drug-free and that the police officers are intelligent enough to refrain themselves from the practice. Just imagine if these police officers that the professional standard director just reiterated you about them being trained for international assignments, not for Sierra Leone. If this guy had gone out of this country, part of these narcotic drugs to another country, they will have dampened the morale this country have developed over the past 10 or 20 years. We have worked in several other countries as peacekeepers, and the Sierra Leone police were held in high esteem. Just imagine, just few people going to dampen the morale of this country, bringing us to zero. And let me tell you, United Nations policies and laws, if you are found wanting of narcotics, that's the end of you. Your country will never go for any peacekeeping mission because you are not fit for purpose. And this was where these guys had actually wanted to drag this institution to. So I pray that the law actually take its course, and I'm sure it will take its course. So ladies and gentlemen, the hunters have become the hunted. We are not only hunting hooligans along the streets for dealing in narcotics, supplying, whether supplying, selling, or consuming. We are also chasing our own police officers. And I'm happy the UNODC had also provided us with kits that we call on-the-spot test kits. For those of you that take narcotics, especially cannabis and the synthetic cannabis, which they now call KUSH, you are not only causing damage to yourself, but you are causing damage to this country. And let me tell you, aside being a police officer, I'm also a forensic toxicologist trained in the United States of America. And you must be mindful of one thing, that when you smoke cannabis sativa or a synthetic form of it, it lasts for 15 days within your system. Within those 15 days, if we do carry out a urine test on you or blood test, it will prove positive. And once that is so, you will be dismissed. I assure you, you will be dismissed. We have several kits that have been provided for us by the UNODC. I think I have my man here that brought samples. Mr. Steven, you have samples of the kit. We can meet any police officer at any time and ask you for the test. If you prove positive, that's the end of you. That's the end of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, police officers are no exception to this rule. And you see, when you take these narcotics, let us forget about the hallucinogenic effect it has on you and the consequences, what you will do to the next one that are not actually consuming this drug. But there is also a burden on the central government, because the government will have to bring in a lot of medication to treat you. These drugs that they are now taking, when you take the KUSH into the laboratory and carry out your analysis on it, the thorough analysis, if you realize, you will see components in that drug that you will actually tell what will happen to the individuals that are taking it. In the next couple of years, we will not only be having series of liver problems, but kidney problems as well. And that means the government will have to spend a lot of money that could have been used, in fact, for the building of new schools or hospitals across the country, only to treat people that are lawless. And there is this zero tolerance for lawlessness in Sierra Leone. Please, we are not ready to accommodate it any longer. Instead of we having a tomorrow, a Sierra Leone tomorrow that will be without manpower, we better start squeezing the perpetrators now. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have your relatives that you think are engaged in these activities, advise them to refrain. Because once you are arrested, we will use you as an ambassador. When you are released, you will go out on the street now and advise others. Say, please, the police are no longer joking. As for the police, of course, that one is 100% sure. If you are caught, we will not only deal with you disciplinarily, but we have you charged to court criminally. Just as the professional standard director said, the few that have been arrested and investigated, as long as they are found guilty, he will send them to me at the CID for criminal actions. We will charge them like any other criminals. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I stop so far. Yeah.
As soon as I don't listen to the updates where the Sierra Leone police don't give this during the press briefing, Mina Aissatou Smile Sise. Until we meet again to another edition, I say, tata.